Hello, children. Today we will begin reading together the fifth and final book of the Torah, the Book of Devarim. This is a very special book because it contains the final words of Moshe before his passing. Moshe stood before the Jewish people in order to tell them very important information before they enter the land of Israel. Without him, Moshe rebuked the people for the wrongdoings they did in the past, for the sin of Baal Pahor, for showing disrespect to the Mun, by saying, "We are disgusted with this rotten bread," the rebellion of Korah, and the sin of the golden calf. But wait, why did Moshe rebuke them only now? So many years passed. Why didn't he mention anything? Moshe rebuked the people close to his death so that it wouldn't happen that he rebukes them and they sin again, and he would have to rebuke them once more. In addition, every time they would see Moshe, they would feel ashamed before him. Yaakov also rebuked his sons only before his death. Moshe didn't want to hurt the honor of the Jewish people, so he mentioned their sins in a gentle way, using the names of places and hints so as not to embarrass them. The Jewish nation multiplied, and Moshe asked to appoint judges who could help him with the judicial system. He instructed the judges on how they should behave and commanded them to conduct true justice. Moshe added and said, "I cannot bear you alone." But wait, could it really be that Moshe couldn't judge all the people by himself? After all, he is the great leader who brought them out of Egypt. Moshe, despite his greatness and spiritual strength, was not able to judge the entire Jewish nation by himself. The people were numerous, and there were many diverse problems and disputes. When Moshe said, "The Lord your God has multiplied you," he explained that God blessed the Jewish people and made them into a great nation, and therefore it's impossible for one person alone to bear the entire burden of leadership and judgment. Moshe said that once there are judges, the responsibility for rulings and punishment passes on to them. In other words, if the judge makes a mistake, the responsibility is no longer on the people themselves, but on the appointed judge. Moshe taught the people that Jewish judges are different from the judges of all other nations. In other nations, if a judge commits an injustice, it doesn't really matter. But a Jewish judge, if he unjustly obligates someone to pay money, he could pay with his own life. What kinds of judges was Moshe looking for? Men of profound wisdom and knowledge. Men of understanding who can grasp one thing from another. Distinguished men, honored and recognized by the people. Now, Moshe reminds the people of the great sin for which they wandered in the desert for 40 years, the sin of the spies, who went to scout out the land of Israel. And when they returned, they spoke terrible things about God and about the land of Israel. Because of God's hatred for us, he brought us out of Egypt to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us. Does God, heaven forbid, hate us? How can anyone say such a thing? Moshe tried to encourage them. The Lord your God, who goes before you, he will fight for you. But the people didn't believe. The result? God became angry with them and punished them by decreeing that they would not merit to enter the promised land, except for the new generation. Yehoshua and Caliph, who praised the land, would also merit to enter it. After the people realized they had made a mistake, some of the Jews regretted falling to the sin of the spies and decided to go up and fight the inhabitants of the land. But Moshe told them, "Do not go up and do not fight, for the Lord will not help you and you will fail." They refused to listen to God and decided to go out to battle, and as a result, they lost the fight. The people were told not to provoke the descendants of Esav, Moab, and Ammon. And when they came to fight against Sihon, king of the Amorites, Moshe did something special. Moshe sent messengers of peace to Sihon, king of Heshbon, and began with words of peace. Why? Moshe said, "Even though God did not command me to offer peace to Sihon, I learned from the Torah that when God came to give the Torah to the Jewish nation, he offered it to Esav and Yishmael, even though he knew they would not accept it, and nevertheless, he acted with them peacefully. Even God granted peace, despite knowing that the answer would be no. Then the Torah describes the wars against Sihon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, and in both battles the Jews were victorious, because God fought on their behalf. The portion concludes with words of strength and encouragement to Yehoshua and to the nation. From this Parsha we learn, justice and kindness. Judges must be righteous and trustworthy. Faith, do not fear, for God is with us. Peace, even before war, one must first seek peace. Repentance, it is always possible to return and correct our ways. Preparation, before beginning a new mission, such as entering the land, we must remember the lessons of the past. Now, the Jewish people stand at the border of the land, ready to conquer the promised land under the leadership of Yehoshua ben Nun. What will happen next? And what else will Moshe tell the people? We'll tell you about that in the next episode.